Hey guys, we're here early to just let you guys get set up. So I'm gonna go ahead and place a recommended props list in the comments. Hey guys, since we're early, if you want to, you can put a comment, just say hello or not. That's okay too. Okay, so I've uploaded a recommended props list to the comments. I guess it's not uploading. I just typed it in, but that's there for you. So just in case you're already sitting down, it's just a bolster. You can use pillows, 2 to 3 yoga blankets, or you can use throw blankets, and 2 blocks. You can use books for this sometimes. That works really well. And a strap will be good for today. If you don't have a strap, that's okay. There will be modifications. You can use a tie or a belt sometimes in place of a yoga strap. And then, of course, your favorite calming music, whatever that may be, and your favorite essential oils and your diffuser. I've got mine ready to go. I'm just going to hit power on it or play on it, whatever the button means. And we'll get started here in a few minutes. I'm just going to get some last minute things set up and give people time to hop onto the live feed, live stream. And as a side note, my husband will be helping us. That's why there's 2 mats laid out here. All we can see are your legs, Brett. So he's going to be helping us tonight. If you didn't already know, I'm sure you do, because a lot of you that are going to be watching are probably friends and family at this point. But I'm pregnant, so there's some poses that I cannot hold for long holds, or simply I'm not able to easily show you. So I've got my prop for the night is also to have my husband here to help us. Also, it just makes it more fun when you can kind of see the sort of subtle adjustments for people who aren't really sure what's coming up next. So you feel a little bit more comfortable, because I get settled real quickly. So it takes him a little bit longer because he doesn't know what's coming. Also, in the future, we will be having surprise sort of pop-in of Brett doing some, and that's Timmy, and that's Lulu. But we'll have some surprise music, live music from Brett. So we'll have to try it out in a different forum and make sure it doesn't create some issues. But he has agreed in the past. I just have not brought it up recently, which is why he seems surprised. But we'll be getting started in a few minutes. Okay, so we are going to get started. There we go. And tonight we're going to start with just a little bit of um, why we're doing this. So there's some people that I really want to be able to continue to connect with, and um, there's been some really big joy come out of being able to do some free classes for me, for the family, and for some people who've reached out to me and said that they were really happy they got to do that. So we are really just kind of doing this out of love for the people who are at home. And, as that changes in the future, I I imagine I'll still be doing some of this kind of stuff. So thank you for being here with us. If you're watching now or if you're watching later, I appreciate your time and I appreciate your willingness to share your practice with us. Um, and we we also are just excited to have sort of connection to people in other parts of the country. I know there's some people who watch in Arizona and Nebraska, and there was some people who were watching in California. So it's really neat to be able to feel like we're able to give in that way. So, is there anything else you wanted to add? Okay. Um, so anyway, and we've got the whole family here. Um, so thank you for being here with us. We're gonna start with a little bit of pranayama, which is normally what I like to start with in a lot of my classes. Um, Pranayama is a great tool for stress relief or energizing work or a number of different sort of things going on in the body that aren't maybe working with us on that day. And so we can use this as a tool. And the way that we use it in the classes that I'll be offering is as a tool for relaxation and for calming the mind and settling in. So we are going to start with some square breathing. It's really simple. You can use it outside of class. And we are going to start with a count of 4. So you'll know what that means in just a second. But if that is too much, you can always bump it down to 3. If you feel really comfortable at 4 and you feel like you have a little more capacity and it's not beyond your edge, you can bump it up to 5. So what we'll do is breathe in for a count of 4, hold that breath for 4, exhale for a count of 4, and then hold that for a count of 4. And that cycle continues. So we'll only do that 7 times tonight. And we'll start the first few together, and then you'll hear me stop talking and you'll just continue. And I'll close this out when it's been around 7. So before we jump into that, though, find a comfortable seat. Get your roots settled into the earth or the blanket or the cushion you're sitting on, and find some length in the spine. We tend to kind of sit like this naturally from driving, from typing. So let the spine lift and release, and let the shoulders really fall down towards the earth. And then find some length. The chin is parallel to the earth. Find just a place in the body where you notice the breath. I notice my breath getting a little bit stuck, maybe in my chest today. Or I notice in my body my breath is moving really freely in my belly today. So just notice what that is for you. And then we'll take a nice long exhale. And we'll inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Continue at your own. The next time you inhale, take a nice long inhale and a full exhale, and let go of that practice. Let your breath fall back into its own natural pace. Notice if anything has changed, where it moves smoothly, maybe where it is getting stuck. And then bring it for some warm energy, and then settle them into the heart. Let the head bow just slightly. Think of 1 or 2 things that you're grateful for today. It can be as simple as a cup of tea, and take a nice big breath in, breathing in that gratitude. And as you exhale, let go of any fear that does not serve you any longer. You might do that a couple times if you feel ready to. And then let the hands fall back down when you're ready. So we'll go ahead and transition onto the back tonight for the warm up. We're going to warm up the spine just a little bit. So we're going to bring yourself onto your back with the knees bent and the feet flat on the mat with the palms down by the sides. And I'm going to recommend that way a little bit. So what we'll do is use bridge as a warm up, and we'll take a nice long exhale. And then as you inhale, lift the hips towards the sky and the arms up overhead towards the wall behind you. And as you exhale, everything floats back down. And continue that with the breath, inhaling up and exhaling back down into the earth, letting the knees, or rather being aware of the knees. So if they start to move out away from each other, keeping them more in line with the hips. Not the outsides of the hips, but the actual hip bones. And we'll take about 3 more breaths, just like this. And after that third inhale and exhale, you'll let the knees fall side to side just a few times, landing with the legs in butterfly or Baddha Konasana legs. And then reach the arms back overhead and grab for opposite elbows just for a few breaths here. And you might only be able to grab for 4 arms. This is a little bit difficult up over the head like that. Two or three more breaths here. And then gently release the arms and float the knees back up to center with the feet still on the mat. Where are you going? So then we're going to bring the arms back down by the sides. Anywhere comfortable is fine. And then bring the right ankle to the left thigh. Keep that foot nice and flexed. Like you can see, Brett has his really flexed. You want to keep it nice and flexed. And what we'll do is reach for that left thigh to pull it towards you, wrapping your fingers around. Now, this might not work in your body for whatever reason, tightness of the day or, tightness from the ears. What you can do is so let's say Brett can't actually make his way that far. He can bring the foot onto 1 or 2 blocks, and then he can press that right the right thigh, not your knee. You can press the right thigh away from you. So let's say he's not actually able to put his hands around his thigh. He's just going to press into that right thigh instead of even messing with the left thigh. So you can do however you need to for the next few breaths. Just so you guys have an idea if there's some tightness going on, especially with all the being at home. So rock side to side a little bit to increase the blood flow. And then when you're ready, You'll gently bring that foot back down to the earth. And then cross that right leg all the way over the left leg. Scoot the hips over to the right. And let your knees both fall all the way to the left. You can bring the arms out into a T or a cactus. The way you see Brett's arms right now are in a cactus or a goalpost if you're that sports fan. Notice if your tendency here is to clench in the breath or hold the breath. See if you can allow the breath here and maybe even draw in some deeper breaths. In these twists, which are meant to be really cleansing on the body, it can be difficult to take full breaths. So we just notice that and we're just aware of that. The next time you take a nice long exhale, draw everything back to center. Unravel the legs, realign the spine, your hips might be a little off kilter, and then bring the left leg onto the right, bringing that left ankle onto the right thigh, and then either pressing into the leg like you can see here, or pulling the right thigh towards you. Remembering to keep that left foot nice and flexed. This protects your knee. It's really important to protect our knees. And then let yourself rock side to side a little bit. So at this point, when you're ready, bring that right foot back down, cross the left leg all the way over, and then scoot your hips to the left. And then let the knees fall to the right. Let the hands come out into a T or a cactus. We'll take a few more breaths here. And then the next time you have a nice long exhale, draw the knees back to center. Realign the hips, realign the legs. And then take a nice long good morning stretch, reaching the arms and the legs out long. And when you're ready, take a nice long exhale, drawing the knees into the chest, giving yourself a hug, rocking side to side a little bit. And then when you're ready, rock all the way onto one side so you can press yourself up to a seat just momentarily. So our first, what we're going to do first, is go into, or next, not first, we've done a lot. What we're going to do next is move into tabletop. and take time for just a few cat cows. Now that we've warmed up the spine, we've warmed up the hips a little bit, and just kind of feel into the spine. What's feeling really nice right now in the breath and in the spine? And if some organic movement happens in the hips, like circles with the hips, allow that to happen as well. Eventually, sometime in the next few breaths, landing in child's pose. The big toes are just touching in child's pose. They're not overlapping, just touching. And then the hips will reach all the way back to the heels. Once you've reached the hips back, then you bring the head down. So what we want to be careful of is sometimes we're so concerned with getting the head down that we draw the hips up and forward. Instead, if your head doesn't reach all the way down to the earth, we just want to use some of those books, those blocks, those blankets to prop the head up. Okay, taking about 3 to 5 more breaths here. If it would serve you in your body today, you can walk the hands over to the left and over to the right till you feel a nice big stretch down the side body. And then when you're ready, go ahead and make your way back to table. We'll do one more warm up pose on either side. We'll take a nice big inhale. Oh, let's bring the left hand underneath the face. Sorry, and take a nice big inhale and sweep that right arm out and up. And then exhale, thread the needle, reach that arm all the way under and across until your shoulder comes down. Again, we want to prop ourselves up if the head does not reach. We don't need to force anything today. And if you look up at Brett here, you can notice that his hips are pretty much right above his knees, and that's what we're aiming for here. If you need a little room, you just scoot the head and the torso even more forward. And then the next time you inhale, press into that left hand. Inhale, right arm out and up again. And then exhale that hand back down. Bring the right hand under the face. Inhale the left arm out and up. And exhale, thread the needle. Giving yourself plenty of room. The next time you inhale, press into that right hand. Inhale the left arm all the way out and up. And then exhale that hand all the way back down. Go ahead and come to a seat when you're ready. Find your bolster. And we are going to use this bolster or pillows, whatever you've got, for a side lying pose here. So we're going to have the bolster. What you're going to do is lay down onto your side, either on a blanket or flat on the mat. And you're gonna have the bolster in front of you. And you're gonna use this for your leg. So you're gonna lay flat on lay all the way on your side. Yep. Lay all the way on your side to start with. You're gonna stretch the bottom leg out long. He likes to know where we're going. Which I'm sure you guys feel that way sometimes too, huh? So, Timmy, go lay down. Go lay down, buddy. Thank you for your help. Come here. So you'll reach the bottom arm, which in this case is Brett's left. He's starting on his left. That's wonderful. You can start on the left. If you're already on your right side, that is totally fine. So that bottom arm will reach out long and be under the head. If this is not enough for you, you can bring a blanket into this. So we'll start here. This will be one of our longer holds. So get comfortable. If something is not comfortable, adjust. As you can see, the leg that's on the bolster or pillows is at a right angle. He's got his knee bent so that his whole leg, foot, calf, everything is nice and supported. Nothing's hanging off. And then that arm that's in front of his torso, you can place this wherever feels comfortable. Again, if you need a blanket so that you can kind of lift that arm up a little, you can do that. Take a nice long inhale and a full exhale. And we'll find our transition to the other side as easily as you can. So you might just move that bolster over to the other side as you roll onto your back. You might use some other way that works for you. There's no right way here. Take a nice long inhale and a full exhale. And then when you're ready, begin to transition up to a seat in whatever way works most easily for your body. So we'll move into a side twist next. So we'll meet the bolster at the top of the mat, nice and long, and you'll bring the left hip up to the side of the bolster. Now here, I would strongly recommend adding a blanket or two to your pose. So you can put blankets in between the knees, rolled up as much as you need. And I also recommend a blanket underneath the head for just a little bit of lift. So whichever or both works for you. And then you'll bring one hand on either side of the bolster. Find some length in your breath. Seek out some length in the torso here and spine. And when you feel ready to take a nice long exhale, melt your way all the way down onto the bolster, turning your head the same direction as your knees. This is a really subtle twist, but it can be a really comfy pose. So allow yourself to get comfortable. Yeah. As you get comfortable, allow your breath to fall into a nice natural place. And as you settle in, maybe think of that first item that was on your gratitude list and bring that with you as you focus on your breath. Focus on your gratitude as you let go. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And allow your breath to continue to stay a little deeper than normal as you let your breath wake up your body. And then begin to make the journey to the other side in whatever way suits you. Remembering to find breadth and length in the spine before you release all the way down onto the bolster. Take a long breath in and a long breath out. And as you allow your breath to continue to deepen, allow your breath to begin to wake you and your awareness back up to the room. When you become ready, gently press yourself up to a seat, leaving the bolster right where it is, and just facing away from the bolster. So there's a couple of options here, and we'll show you both. You can leave the bolster as is, how Brett has it, with just some extra height, very little bit of extra height under the head with the blanket. Or you can prop your bolster up with blocks like this. And place your bolster there. And if you've got books or something, you can do it simple, something like this as well. So it doesn't have to be a lot higher. So that's up to you. And then we'll use blankets or more blocks, whatever you've got, to support the legs in butterfly or Baddha Konasana. So I might put some blankets underneath my thighs, just like that. Or you can roll up a blanket or blocks underneath the thighs, like what Brett's kind of getting ready to do. You can also roll up a blanket, place it over the top of the feet, and then around and under the calves to support the legs. So I shouldn't feel any pulling. I hate to say the word should, but ideally, once this is comfortable, I won't feel any pulling on the knees. I'll feel completely supported in the knees, in the back, and in the thighs. If at some point this does not continue to be comfortable, you're welcome to let the legs reach out long. Or if this is just not going to feel safe in your body today for any reason, you can just reach the legs out long. So we'll stay here as a supported Shavasana today, but you're also welcome to lay flat on your back with bolster under the knees for your Shavasana. Or even spend a few minutes with your legs up the wall. Take a nice long inhale and a full exhale. If you're on your back, stay where you are. If you're on a bolster or your legs are up to the wall, we'll transition to lay flat on the mat just for a few breaths. So gently bring the knees back up. Roll to one side so you can press yourself up. And then once you get your props out of the way, lay flat on the back. Let the breath fall into its own natural pace here and just notice. Be aware of the body and of the breath. You might take a quick scan from the toes all the way to the crown of the head and everything in between. Just noticing sensation, hot, cold, tense, relaxed. And then when it feels right, after you've done that, you might have a little bit of movement begin to happen. The fingers and the toes. And eventually some stretch might make its way into your body. No right answer what that is. And then make your way to one side and press yourself up to a seat. And we'll land in a nice, easy cross-legged seat. We'll bring the hands to the heart, allow the eyes to close and the head to gently bow. Maybe to whatever your higher power is, maybe to the inner wisdom that brought you to this mat today. And then think of that piece of gratitude that you pulled in earlier. Take a nice long breath in, reaching and pulling in that gratitude. Breathe in gratitude. Breathe out that which no longer serves you. In and out through the nose just a couple times. Namaste. So at this time, our practice is over. I appreciate your time and your presence here, whether you watched with us live or you're watching later. Your presence was felt, and I hope you'll come back and see us Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:15 to 8:15, and it'll be free. Donations are welcome. I'll put in the comments Venmo or PayPal information or both, and we hope that we see you again sometime. Feel free to give us a comment or give us a thumbs up just so that we know what we're doing that you like. I'm also happy to hear any favorite poses that you felt this evening, just so I can be aware of what to make sure we continue to recycle into future classes. Thank you so much. We're sending you light and love and blessings.